For generations, a specific assumption dominated our understanding of health, that if illness, addiction, or chronic anxiety ran in your family, you were simply downstream of forces beyond your control. However, this theory of genetic determinism eventually encountered a biological contradiction. Researchers observed that two individuals can carry identical genetic sequences, like identical twins, yet develop radically different biological profiles. It suggests that while genes provide the blueprint, they don't dictate the final structure. The old paradigm of "you are your genes" is an incomplete picture of how life actually functions. Scientists have identified a layer of molecular switches and chemical tags sitting directly on top of the DNA. This is the epigenome, a term derived from the Greek epi, meaning above. This diagram illustrates the relationship. If DNA is the sheet music, the epigenome is the conductor. The notes on the page never change, but the conductor decides which instruments play, how loudly they sound, and when they remain silent. We are beginning to understand that this conductor is not operating in a vacuum. It is constantly interpreting signals from the world around us and the state of the body within. This means the genome is not a fixed decree. It is a responsive, living dialogue between our environment and ourselves. On a cellular level, thoughts have a physical weight. When a state of chronic stress is maintained, the body triggers a biological cascade. Cortisol rises and inflammatory pathways activate. The cell shifts into survival mode, prioritizing immediate defense over long-term repair. Contrast this with the effect of heart coherence, a state of genuine gratitude and perceived safety. This initiates an entirely different biochemical environment, activating anti-inflammatory pathways and releasing oxytocin. Research from the HeartMath Institute has documented how these sustained inner states directly influence the nervous and immune systems. A thought, then, is more than a psychological experience. It functions as a literal biological instruction being broadcast to the cells. The scope of this broadcast extends beyond a single lifetime. Through transgenerational epigenetics, we've learned that significant ancestral stress can leave molecular marks that are passed to subsequent generations. We see this in the offspring of Holocaust survivors. Without direct exposure, these descendants show measurable epigenetic differences in regulating stress hormones. Similar data exists for the children of famine survivors, who inherit altered metabolic patterns. The body carries a record of the environments our ancestors survived. This suggests that the epigenome is a highly efficient record-keeping system. If the system can record and pass on the marks of trauma, it raises a significant question. Can it also be used to transmit the signals of recovery and coherence? If these molecular switches are truly responsive, then the work of processing trauma and cultivating health may be more than personal maintenance. It is a potential shift in the biological inheritance we pass forward. From this perspective, certain mindfulness practices look less like lifestyle choices and more like precision biological technologies. Take diaphragmatic breathing. It physically stimulates the vagus nerve, sending a direct signal of safety from the brainstem through the torso. This shifts the nervous system into parasympathetic dominance, a mechanical override moving the body out of survival posture. When this state is reached consistently, it influences the epigenetic landscape, specifically affecting genes associated with inflammation and cellular aging. Active emotional processing and bite work serve as a form of biological hygiene, preventing the chronic activation of stress pathways from leaving a permanent mark. This cellular dialogue is influenced by dozens of small, daily signals: the quality of our social connections, the practice of gratitude, and the environments we inhabit. Your genome is like a vast library containing 20,000 books. Many are currently shelved in the dark, but the collection is dynamic. The environment determines which volumes are opened and which remain closed. Since your cells are constantly listening to the signals you provide, we have to consider what frequency we are broadcasting today. You are a participant in the ongoing expression of your own biology. The DNA may be the inheritance you are given, but the way that inheritance is expressed is a story you are still writing.